and gentlemen, welcome to the Orange Blossom Opry. At this time, we ask that you please silence all cell phones and pagers, and as you know, flash photography and video recording is not allowed. We also ask that you please remove all caps and hats so the people behind and around you can enjoy the view. Gum chewing is not allowed, and please don't stick it under your seat. We're happy that you've joined us here at the Orange Blossom Opry and ask that you please take all refuse with you to the nearest exit as you leave the auditorium. And now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
It's gonna be his fault.
Not gonna clap?
Well, look yonder coming down that railroad track. Well, look yonder coming down that railroad track. It's the Orange Blossom Special. My baby back.
Come on back out here, son. Play. Everybody, how y'all doing tonight on a Friday night? Welcome to the Orange Blossom Opry, and my gosh, we're certainly glad you're here because we have played to some empty seats before because of this COVID thing, so we want to thank all of y'all for coming out. How many of y'all are at the Orange Blossom Opry for the very first time? Let me see your hands. Oh, we got a bunch of, wow! We got a whole new crowd, right? So we could just do a bunch of stuff, right? All kinds of crazy things. You know, there is a special friend of mine I want to say hello to. Fred, where are you? Fred Como's out there. There you are, Fred. See, you got good seats when you know somebody, right? I played in a band called the Bobby Randall Cowboy Up Band for a long time with Fred Como there. He's from Alabama, and he's here visiting with us tonight. We're glad he is here and his lovely wife. And Fred played drums for a long time. We worked together for a couple years, and then Fred fired me. So... Anyway, tonight, folks, we're going to do something kind of different. We're going to do the music of Bakersfield. And I don't know if you all know much about Bakersfield, but just to give you a little bit of lesson, what happened was, of course, in the 40s and in the 50s, Nashville was the recording pot, if you will, of the country music industry. Everybody was moving to Nashville. The radio station was growing. Country music was growing. And everybody was out of Nashville. Well, some of the folks, Capitol Records was a huge record company, and out on the West Coast started wanting to get into the country music business as well. They had guys like the Beatles, the Beach Boys. They had Ricky Nelson, a bunch of those kind of guys, but no country acts. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of guys started getting signed to Capitol Records is where it started. And most of those guys lived around the Bakersfield area. And some of those guys are guys you may recognize by the name of Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, and later on in life, Dwight Yoakam and the Desert Rose Band. So basically, if you're not a hillbilly, you might want to leave now, because this is a lot of really, really, really country music. There we go. I don't know what that picture was, but there you go. There's Buck and Merle right there, and Dwight. There they are. Oh. By golly. Sure enough.
Dwight had some hair back then.
No, just in the back. Not
just in the back.
Just in the back. He never had any up on the top. Anyway, before we get started, though, again, welcome to all the new folks. We're certainly glad that you're here. Thank you so much for coming out. We are here on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. We have a lot of national acts. What I'd like to invite you all to do is pick up a brochure on your way out, because it tells about all the shows that are coming. There's a bunch of great country music folks from the 90s coming here this summer, and we're proud to have them. But first, I want to introduce to you these gentlemen up here that I've put together today for you to play music for you all. This gentleman here, he hails from the great state of Illinois. He plays the bass guitar, he plays guitar, he plays drums. He is our stage manager, he's also our bus driver. Please say hello to Kevin Kingston!
KK! Hello! Howdy!
That's him right there. The gentleman behind him, sitting next to him, also plays many instruments, which I think is a prerequisite to be in this band. He is from the great state of Iowa. He plays the pedal steel. He plays fiddle. He plays banjo, mandolin, cordovox, clarinet, piano. But most of all, he's the piccolo player, if you remember that joke. His name is Doug Stock, but on three, you locals know what to do. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Dougie!
Woo! Hey, Dougie. The gentleman behind me hails from the great state of Florida. He is a Floridian. He is from Plant City, as a matter of fact, home of the Strawberry Festival. He is the handsome and talented with his own camera, if you may notice. His name is Todd Bowers, everybody.
TB.
TB. Most people just call him TB. And the gentleman on my right hails from the great state of Michigan. He is our lead singer, piano player, and harmonica player. Please say hello to Mr. Arlen Willett.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And I say he's our lead singer because usually he sings the majority of the songs, but when we started doing all these songs, there are a bunch of old hillbilly songs, and I'm the only guy that knows. You know quite a few, though.
I know a few, but I think you got the majority of it this time.
Well, because I'm the oldest guy.
Everybody, I gave bushels of tomatoes out.
To throw? All right.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty fast on my feet. The sixth member of the Orange Blossom Opry Band is right at the end of this aisle. Ladies and gentlemen, he is twice Grammy nominated. Say hello to our sound engineer, Mr. Nathan Smith, back there.
Nathan!
And the best looking person in the band is our camera person up there tonight. Her name is Karen. She's over there on the right. She's got her picture. That's what she looks like. Say hello to Karen. And the guy behind the lights back there, that's Fast Eddie, and there's his picture right there. That's the picture that was right after he was arrested for impersonating Neil Sedaka. But that's Fast Eddie on the lights. Y'all say hello to them. Also, are we on Facebook? Hello to everybody on Facebook out there watching. We've got lots of folks watching. And is your mom watching tonight?
I think she is. Hi, Mom. I love you. I miss you.
And I want to say hello to my mom, except she's not on Facebook tonight. She's sitting right there in the front row.
I miss you too,
Yep.
Miss Clyde.
My sister Sam, who is an angel, sitting next to her, and that is the truth. My mom will be 89 years old in July, and 2 days ago she was on the back of my Harley, and we were buzzing around all over the place. So,
And wasn't it her 80th that she zip-lined across Niagara?
yeah, 80 years old, she zip-lined across Niagara. 85, she was in prison for drunk driving.
Selling weed.
Again, for selling pot, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, she's a tough one, though, I'll tell you that. And I love you, too, Mother. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so the first guy to come out of the Bakersfield area was a guy named Buck Owens. He got signed to Capitol Records in about 1958, and in 59, we're going to kind of take you on a cruise of all of these people. I kind of got these songs in order, and so this was Buck Owens' first record that came out in 1959.
They just don't know how lost I feel without you. My teardrops never see the light of day. I laugh and joke each time they talk about you. But if I spoke the truth, I'd have to say, excuse me, I think I've got a heartache. There's an aching deep inside, and it just won't be denied. Excuse me, I think I've got a heartache. And I better say goodbye before I cry. Come on, Dougie. Guess it's pride that makes me hide my sorrow. I live a lie in all I do say. My lips may hide the pain of bright tomorrow, but if I spoke the truth, I'd have to say, excuse me, I think I've got a heartache. There's an aching deep inside, and it just won't be denied. Excuse me, I think I've got a heartache. And I better say goodbye before I cry. And I better say goodbye before I cry.
Buck Owens wrote that song with a guy named Harlan Howard in about 1958. Harlan Howard, many of you may know, is probably one of the biggest songwriters ever to come to Nashville. Wrote tons and tons of records. Originally started his career in Michigan, listening to the Grand Ole Opry. And he said he couldn't. Anybody here from Michigan? You can make noise if you're from Michigan.
Harlan
okay.
Howard.
Okay, we know you're from Michigan. We'll talk slower.
He's from Michigan. Does he know Dallas Winslow?
He probably does. Everybody knows Dallas Winslow if they're from Michigan, don't they? You all know Dallas Winslow? Arlen's wearing a Dallas Winslow designer shirt tonight.
My Dallas Winslow collection.
Yeah, of Mill Inn.
He's in the house.
Yeah, Dallas is in the house.
He wore a crazy shirt, says Bobby Randall on it tonight.
Do you have your Bobby Randall shirt on? Look at that.
Where is he? Where is he?
Stand up. Everybody look at his shirt. There's the T-shirt to have right there, folks. If you need a shirt, it's the Bobby Randall Band T-shirt.
Dallas Winslow. He's famous around here.
Well, he's been arrested a few times. That doesn't make him famous. Anyway, Harlan Howard used to listen to the radio, and it didn't come in, and he was trying to write down the words to the songs. He said, to heck with this, and I'll just start writing. So he started writing songs, and that was one of the first records he had. Here's another song by Buck Owens that was out in the 60s, I believe. And I'm not sure we played all these songs before, folks, so hang on. Yep.
You with me on this, you guys?
Okay, I think so.
No, I thought you were with me.
I am.
I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. And it won't be long till you get through with me. I'm a losing weight and turning mighty pale. And it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Go up to D now. I thought the day I met you, you were weak as a lamb. Just the kind that fit my dreams and plans. But now the pace we're living takes a wind by myself. and it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. And it won't be much when you get through with me. I'm losing weight and I'm turning mighty pale. And it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Guitar! Every night you drag me where the bright lights are found. Ain't no way to slow you down. I'm about as helpless as a leaf in a gale, and it looks like I've got a tiger by the tail. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. And it won't be much if you get through with me. I'm losing weight and turning mighty pale, and it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Let's sing that again. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. And it won't be much when you get through with me. I'm losing weight and turning mighty pale, and it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. And it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Yeah, bucko.
Yahoo! Y'all having fun now? I had to learn some of these parts. When I was a little kid, I grew up listening to all this stuff. When I was in like the 7th grade, I had a little band, and this is all the kind of music I played, although I haven't played it in forever. Is this in G now? Or in E?
The first one, G, right?
G, all right.
It was in E. Now it's in G.
All right, I think I got it. Ready?
No.
Wish me luck. There's a place down the street we call Sam's Place. It starts jumping every evening when the sun goes down. You can always find me down at Sam's Place, 'cause that's where the gang all hangs around. Well, there's old Shimmy Chicken Tina. She hails from Pasadena. She always got a big smile on her face. There's old Hoochie Coochie Hattie. She comes from Cincinnati. And there's always a party at Sam's Place. Well, they got a swinging band down at Sam's Place. It starts playing every evening when the sun goes down. You can always find me down at Sam's Place, 'cause that's where the gang all hangs around. Oh, there's old Shimmy Chicken Tina. Oh, she hails from Pasadena. She always got a big smile on her face. Oh, Hoochie Coochie Hattie. She comes from Cincinnati. And there's always a party at Sam's Place. And I'll meet you tonight at Sam's Place. That's for my sister. His name is Sam, by the way. So when I was in, I think I got my very first guitar when I was about 4 years old. But my sister said the funniest thing to me the other day. We all played. Did y'all, anybody here for the John Denver show? So we played a John Denver show, and my sister sent me a text and said, "I can't believe you played a John Denver show. You're such a rebel." And it's probably true, because I want to tell you, this music, when it came out, and all of y'all probably know all these songs, believe it or not, Nashville didn't really want anything to do with it. They didn't let Buck Owens. They said they were too rock for the Grand Ole Opry, so they didn't let him on the Grand Ole Opry in the 50s and the early 60s, Buck Owens or Merle Haggard. But when I was a kid, I somehow, because maybe I was a rebel child, got really attached to this music. And I got really attached to a guy named Don Rich, who was a real influential guy in Buck Owens' music. He sang all the harmony stuff. He sang his own kind of thing, but he played a guitar just like this. And when I was in probably about 7th or 8th grade, I wanted a Telecaster guitar. Everybody had a Telecaster. Dallas, you remember Jim Fritzler had one, this buddy of ours back home. Well, the guitar back then cost as much as probably the house we lived in. But I got a Telecaster. I got this Telecaster guitar, and I got it when I was in 11th grade. And I've got a whole boatload of guitars, but this is still my favorite guitar. And I got this guitar because Buck Owens and the Buckaroos put out an instrumental. And nobody puts out instrumentals anymore. But they put out this instrumental, and when I heard it, I just said, man, I want a Telecaster guitar so bad so I could play this song.
I said to Desiree, you remember when they used to play that on Hee Haw all the time? And she's like, no.
Well, they did. Yeah, well, anyway, so that kind of tells you where I came. They don't do instrumentals anymore on the radio, but remember years ago they did, all the bands did. And anyway, so then this next guy comes along who's kind of an outlaw that also was signed to Capitol Records. One of the things I want to tell you, you may or may not care, but it's just kind of fun information. Capitol Records had a house band. And when you recorded on Capitol Records, you used their house band. That's the way it was. And Buck Owens was the guy, when they signed him, they said, well, you can't use your band. And he said, if I can't use my guitar player, Don Rich, I'm out. And so all of the early music that you hear was all Don Rich playing guitar, playing a Telecaster like this. And if you go back and listen to some of those things, you can see how dominant his guitar was in all of Buck Owens' music. Then another guy came along.
You know, I kind of did that too. I said, if I can't have my guitar player, Bobby Randall, I'm out. And Roger said, okay, you're fired.
This is Arlen's last night. No, what happened was he said, well, let me think about that. Then he heard Arlen sing, and he said, no, Bobby's out. You're in. So, all right, so then this guy came along, another guy, and he wrote a lot of his own songs, and they signed him to Capitol, and he's probably the second guy that came along in the Bakersfield movement. Of course, his name was Merle Haggard. And here we go.
Each night I leave the barroom when it's over. not feeling any pain at closing time. But tonight your memory found me much too sober. I couldn't drink enough to keep you off my mind. Tonight the bottle let me down, and it let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. Come on. Dougie! Well, I've always had a bottle I could turn to. And lately I've been turning every day. But the wine don't take effect the way it used to. And I'm hurting in an old familiar way. Tonight the bottle let me down, and it let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. Yeah. Merle.
That's A and W right there.
The pollen's killing me. Can I just say that? Are you too? What do you do for it? You take anything for it?
Oh, man.
2 things? It's killing. Arlen moved here from Michigan and he loves it. But I can't hardly talk.
Listen, though, Miss Susie sitting right there,
Yeah.
she gave me a Flonase to give you.
Oh, really?
Morning and night. It's supposed to really take care of that.
Really? Because I'm like Kermit the Frog up here. And this morning I got up and I took a couple of Dulcolax and I thought... I thought that might help me with the runs, but it didn't.
Well, that's where the Flonase helps you out, because it ain't supposed to go in your nose.
It might have. It depends.
It depends.
Depends. But it's killing me, I know. My mom's here, too. Hey, I'm going to tell you something about my mom. My mom is in the Michigan Country Music Hall of Fame as a stand-up comedian, and that's the truth. And my mom did not steal material. She wrote her own material and made up all her own jokes.
She is also a great singer.
She's also a great singer. And but I steal all of her jokes now because the Dulcolax thing was something I got from my mom. That's not true. Anyway, so here's an interesting story. All these guys, Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, they're all on Capitol Records now, and they're all writing songs. And all of y'all know Merle Haggard was probably one of the greatest songwriters ever. He was a storyteller. But here's something you may not know, that his first #1 record that we're going to play for you, he did not write. And there was a guy, he said, you got to hear this girl play these songs. And he said, I don't want to go over there. So he drags him over there to this girl's house, and this lady plays these songs on an organ. All she had was an organ. And she played a song, Things I Learned in a Hobo Jungle, which was Merle Haggard's first record. And the second song she played him was this next song. She had no idea Merle Haggard had been to prison. And she played him this song, and this was his first #1. A side note, you all know who Lynn Anderson is? It was Lynn Anderson's mom, Liz Anderson, who wrote this song. It was Merle Haggard's first #1 record. It goes like this. Down every road, there's always one more city.
I'm on the run, the highway is my home. I raised a lot of Cain back in my younger days. Well, Mama used to pray my crops would fail. Now I'm a hunted fugitive with just 2 ways. I'd run the law or spend my life in jail. I'd like to settle down, but they won't let me. A fugitive must be a rolling stone. But down every road there's always one more city. I'm on the run, the highway is my home. I'm lonely, but I can't afford the luxuries of having one I love to come along. For she'd only slow me down and they'd catch up with me. He who travels fastest goes alone. I'd like to settle down, but they won't let me. A fugitive must be a rolling stone. Down every road there's always one more city. I'm on the run, the highway is my home. I'm on the run, the highway is my home.
I like that.
All right. Remember that stuff Grandma used to make? Honey, lemon, whiskey? Was that it? Where the hell's that stuff? Let's see. We have people watching in Michigan, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Indiana, Iowa, Georgia, Massachusetts, Ohio, Kentucky. Got some Massachusetts people here? Good. Kentucky, New York, North Carolina, Maine, Missouri, Ireland. No kidding.
Ireland.
What day is it in Ireland, y'all? Anyway, Nova Scotia and Ontario and the UK. Or is that my uncle's watching? Either my uncle's watching or people in the UK. UK? Oh, thanks. All right. Well, hi to everybody. Y'all say hello to everybody on Facebook. Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
If that's not your wife you're sitting with, you might want to move. Well, just tell her we're on Facebook.
You're supposed to say, is that your wife or are you on a business trip?
No, I don't steal Trillinger's jokes. He'll be here tomorrow night, folks. If you want to come and have a great time, George Trillinger will be here tomorrow night. He does a bunch of funny stuff, and he worked out in Vegas for a long time as an imposter.
As an imposter.
No, as an impersonator, and impersonated a lot of people.
He was in California, Las Vegas.
I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to be anybody but me. I've not been able to be, but he's great. Buddy Holly.
So far, you're still not doing a great job at
Not
it.
doing a real good job of me, because today I'm me with Kermit the Frog. So here's a great song. Haggard wrote this song in the 60s when the country was about in the same shape it's in right now. And so here's one of the Haggard songs.
We don't smoke marijuana in the stogie. We don't take our trips on LSD. Well, we don't burn our draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. We don't make a party out of loving. We like holding hands and pitching woo. We don't let our hair grow long and shaggy like the hippies out in San Francisco do. Say it with me. I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave old glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. Leather boots are still in style, manly footwear. Beads and Roman sandals won't be seen. Football's still the roughest thing on campus, and the kids there still respect the college dean. And I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. Yes, we still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. Yeah, we still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse in Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA.
Can't write that kind of stuff these days. Everybody be mad about all that stuff now. Hey, you know, we had a song in the set. Arlen and I used to do a Merle Haggard tribute show with a guy named Jeff Carson. And I don't know if you all remember who Jeff Carson was. He had a couple big records in the 90s. But he probably does the best Merle Haggard ever of
Make
anybody.
you cry.
Anybody. And we had that song. We were going, why don't you sing that song? It's not on the list, but we kind of know it. Let's do a
Key F.
Misery in G. Yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorite Merle Haggard songs.
Memories and drinks don't mix too well. Jukebox records don't play those wedding bells. Looking through the world at the bottom of a glass, all I see is a memory that's fading fast. The night I need that woman again, what I wouldn't give for my baby to just walk in. Sit down beside me and say it's alright. Take me home and make sweet love with me tonight. 'Cause here I am again, mixing misery and gin, sitting with all my friends and talking to myself. It looks like I'm having a good time, but any fool could tell that this honky-tonk heaven really makes me feel like hell. Light a lonely woman's cigarette. We start talking about things we want to forget. Her life story and mine are the same. We both lost someone and only have ourselves to blame. 'Cause here I am again, mixing misery and gin, sitting with all my friends and talking to myself. It looks like I'm having a good time, but any fool could tell that this honky-tonk heaven really makes me feel like hell. Here's Bobby on guitar now. Want some Dougie? But here I am again, mixing misery and gin, sitting with all my friends and talking to myself. It looks like I'm having a good time, but any fool could tell that this honky-tonk heaven really makes me feel like hell.
Yeah, baby.
Dallas.
Shout out on that, everybody. So, hey, folks, we all need to say hello to Mel. Mel is in Ireland, and he woke up early this Saturday morning just to watch this show. So it's a Saturday morning in Ireland. So hi, Mel, and thanks a lot for watching. Everybody say, hey, Mel.
Hey, Mel. Thanks for not watching cartoons this morning.
Oh, yeah. I used to watch. They don't have cartoons on
They
Saturday
don't
morning.
Saturday mornings anymore.
I used to get up and watch Bugs Bunny on mornings I wasn't in jail. Yeah. What do you mean, yeah? Excuse me. I'm going to try to hack out one more song, y'all. We're going to take a short break. One of the things that you could hope for as a songwriter is to write what they call an anthem. And Merle Haggard undoubtedly wrote the working man's anthem. I spent hours, again, trying to learn the guitar solo off of this record. Because everybody plays, Freddie, you know this, you played this song 1,000 times. And everybody plays 100 miles an hour, and we try to play it like the record. But here's probably one of the best working man songs ever written. Well, it's a big job getting by with 9 kids and a wife. Yeah, but I've been a working man damn near all my life, and I'll keep on working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. I drink my beer in the tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. Well, I keep my nose on the grindstone and I work hard every day. Get a little tired on the weekend, but after I draw my pay, I'll go back working. I gotta buy my kids a brand new pair of shoes. Well, I drink my beer in the tavern, cry a little bit of these working man blues. Well, sometimes I think about leaving, do a little bumming around. I want to throw my bills out the window, catch me a train to another town, but I'll go back working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew.
drink my beer in a tavern, cry a little bit of these working man blues. Give him some working man, Dougie. Come on, son. Well, sometimes I think about leaving. I want to do a little bumming around. I want to throw my bills out the window, catch me a train to another town, but I'll go back to working. I gotta buy my kids a brand new pair of shoes. I drink my beer in a tavern, cry a little bit of these working man blues. You got some more over there, Hoss? Come on. I said, hey, hey, a working man like me. I ain't never been on welfare, that's the one place I won't be. I'll be working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. I drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. Well, I drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. We'll be right back in about 15 minutes, folks, with a lot more noise and a lot more music. Make some noise. We'll be right back.
So I had a beard for a long time, and I could hide all that stuff because it just kind of run down your nose and get in your beard. Yeah, there's several ways of blowing your nose, you know, and wiping your nose. There's the traditional, this, with this. And then there's this, what we all know. And then there's hold one side and let the other side go. All right. Everybody having fun so far? Everybody okay? Y'all digging the music? It's kind of old country. All right. Well, we'll move right along, and I'll try not to do too much Kermit the Frog. Buck Owens, his very first #1 record, he did not write. There was a gentleman in the city of Nashville called Johnny Russell who had a song out himself called Rednecks, White Sox, and Blue Ribbon Beer. I actually lived not far down the street from him in Hendersonville in Tennessee and got to know him pretty well. He's a pretty funny guy. But he wrote this next song, and it was Buck Owens' very first #1 record. And it goes kind of like this. Well, they're gonna put me in the movies. Well, they're gonna make a big star out of me. I'm gonna play the part about a guy who's sad and lonely. All I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. I might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you come and see me in the movies. Well, then I know that you're gonna plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. All I gotta do is act natural, turn around. I'm gonna play the part about a guy who's sad and lonely. And I'll beg him down upon his bended knees. I'll play the part, but I won't need rehearsing. 'Cause all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. I might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. 'Cause I can play the part so well. I hope you'll come and see me in the movies. Well, then I know that you're gonna plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. All I gotta do is act naturally. Yeah, all I gotta do is act naturally. Featuring that Telecaster guitar, y'all. Here's a funny story that I'll tell you before we do the next song. I told you that the Nashville scene really kind of had the music business monopolized, really. And I'm a guitar player, so I know all this useless information. If you remember back in the 40s and the 50s, all of the guys played Gibsons. Everybody played Gibson guitars. If you think back to Hank Thompson, think back to Ernest Tubb, and a bunch of those guys, all the Nashville guys played Gibsons. Gibsons, by the way, at that time, were made where? In Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's right.
Yeah.
So there was a guy named Leo Fender that was working on a guitar like this, called the Fender guitar. And he actually went to Buck Owens when they got their record deal and told Buck, he said, I will give you these guitars. If you will play Fender guitars, I will give them to you. And Buck Owens was one of the guys in Don Rich that actually helped bring the Telecaster guitar with their music along the way into country music. So, again, a plethora of useless information, but it's better than sitting up here telling dirty jokes. But that's how the Telecaster kind of got into country music, through Buck Owens and Don Rich, and then everybody kind of started playing them, and now everybody plays them. But anyway, here's a song that's got nothing to do with any of that.
Well, I'm going to do this song, and I was really hoping that my buddy Dallas would be here today because he and I have, we love this song for one main reason is we've had a lot of women take advantage of us in our...
Well, here's a song that I wrote then. If you're going to sing it, I wrote it, baby.
My legs and my feet have walked till they can't hardly move from trying to please you. And my back is sore from bending over backwards, just laying the world at your door. And I'm trying hard to put a smile on a sad face. Each night you're breaking my heart. And as sure as the sun shines, I'll be a lifetime not knowing if I've done my part. 'Cause you take me for granted, and it's breaking my heart. And as sure as the sun shines, I'll be a lifetime not knowing if I've done my part. Somebody play it. And as sure as the sun shines, I'll be a lifetime not knowing if I've done my part. Merle Haggard.
No!
Man, make you cry.
My wireless is wanting to act up for some reason. Okay. All right, so here's another big Buck Owens song. I think I got it. Ready, Wichita? Count it off. Oh, the sun's gonna shine in my life once more. Love's gonna live here again. Things are gonna be the way they were before. Love's gonna live here again. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here again. No more loneliness, only happiness. Love's gonna live here again. I hear bells ringing, I hear birds singing. Love's gonna live here again. I hear bees are coming, and I know the days are coming. Love's gonna live here again. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here again. No more loneliness, only happiness. Love's gonna live here again. Love's gonna live here again. Yeah. So do y'all like to hear stories or do you not? You do? Okay. So this next song, there was a guy in Nashville, Tennessee that wrote this song called Whitey Schaefer. And there's two stories for this because one was I was in Nashville and these guys got me up to sing Bobby Redland. So I get up to sing and when I get up on stage, I look and I can see Whitey Schaefer sitting right there. And I said, I ain't singing anything till that guy gets up and sings this song, which he did. So he brought this song to Epic Records when a guy named Johnny Rodriguez was recording. Merle Haggard heard the song and he said, I'm going to record that song. And they said, you can't, your album's done. So Johnny Rodriguez recorded this song. And it became a big #1 record. And Merle Haggard said, I don't care, I'm still going to record it. So 10 years to the date that Johnny Rodriguez had it, Merle Haggard recorded the song and again took it to #1. And I got to say this just to be a little prejudiced. I've lived in Nashville about 41 years, and I've heard everybody in the whole wide world sing, and everybody that first came to town from everybody. And nobody that I know of sings any better than this guy right over here.
I've been throwing horseshoes over my left shoulder. I've spent most all my life searching for that four-leaf clover, and you ran with me, chasing my rainbow. Don't you know I love you too? That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes, baby. That's the music God made for all the world to see. It's never old, it grows. Losing makes me sorry. You say, honey, don't worry. Don't you know I love you too? And that's the way love goes. That's the way love goes, babe. That's the music God made for all the world to see. It's never old, it grows. Losing makes me sorry. You say, honey, don't worry. Don't you know I love you too? And that's the way love goes. Honey, I love you too. And that's the way love goes. Oh. Merle Haggard, thank you.
Told you so. So some guy come up and was talking to me, and I apologize because I was thinking of something else, talking about my guitar, how old my guitar was. But I learned to play guitar with a thumb pick because when I played in a band with Freddie, I don't think I even played guitar, did I? I played mostly. Did I play guitar? I don't even remember.
Tuba.
I played tuba, right. But I learned to play like this because my I learned there were songs I couldn't play if you don't play with a thumb pick. So when my dad was around, I'd practice songs like this. But you can only play that with your fingers. But when my dad left, then I would practice songs like. But anyway, that song never made me any money. Ready? First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and the youngest dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. One and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my mama seemed to know what lay in store. Despite all my Sunday learnings were so bad I kept on turning till Mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Daddy, rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load. He tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanting me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Thank you very much. Do what?
Excellent.
Yeah, well, anyway. So I grew up playing a lot of this stuff, so it's kind of fun. Anyway, Merle Haggard not only wrote the ultimate working man song, I think he probably ultimately wrote, is that correct grammar? Ultimately wrote, or yeah, the perfect drinking song.
I could be holding you tonight. I should stop doing wrong, start doing right. If you don't care about what I think, I think I'll just stay here and drink. They put me down on square the deal. At least you know the way I feel. Hey, take all the money in the bank. I think I'll just stay here and drink. Come on. Dougie. Listen close and you will hear that loud jukebox playing in my ear. All the money in the bank. I think I'll just stay here and drink. Ain't hurt me now, wants me to think. Since love ain't here, I don't feel the pain. My mind ain't nothing but a total blank. I think I'll just stay here and drink. Let's hear some guitar now. Todd Bowers on the drums.
Todd Bowers on the drums.
Hey, Kevin.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There he is. Come on. There it is. Yeah.
Hey, he's got his mask off tonight. Usually he wears a mask up here all the time. You all see him. So he's are you over the COVID stuff? He's over the COVID.
COVID's over.
Over the COVID.
Over.
I don't know about y'all, but I had the COVID. It was no fun.
We had it
Let's
too.
go. Ah.
The funny thing is, I think everybody here had it except Kevin. Oh, you didn't have it either. That's right.
I don't think I had it.
Nope.
Didn't feel like it. Nathan didn't have it.
Nathan didn't have it. Nathan didn't
I
get
got
it either.
tested 3 or 4 times. I didn't have it.
I had it in a wonderful place, though. I had it in some bum squat town in New Mexico.
Wow, mine was in my stomach.
I
love you, man.
I knew that was coming. Here's another Merle Haggard song.
Silver wings
Yeah.
flying in the sunlight, roaring engines headed somewhere in flight. They're taking you away, leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Don't leave me, I cried. Don't take the airplane ride. But she locked me out of my mind, left me standing here behind. Silver wings shining in the sunlight, roaring engine headed somewhere in flight. They're taking her away, leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Play it, boys. That's nice. Thank you. I cried. Don't take that airplane ride. Won't you knock me out of your mind? Left me standing here behind. Silver wings shining in the sunlight. Roaring engine headed somewhere in flight. They're taking you away, yeah, and leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Good old Merle.
Silver Wings, everybody. How y'all doing? Everybody still okay? All right. Well, usually what happens is we put songs on this set list, and I try to sneak out of doing a couple of them. If there's any way I could sneak out of this song right now, I'd like to sneak out of this.
All right, just
But,
skip.
we'll do it. Hey, can we do a different one besides that we didn't do? Okay. You don't care? You don't care? We don't care.
He said, suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up. Listen, man, I got Kermit the Frog going. I got stuff going in my nose you don't want to know about.
Yikes.
My mom's over there, so I can't cuss. Let's play. This is probably one of my favorite Merle Haggard songs, and I've not sang that song since I was a kid. Let's do "Sing Me Back Home." Sing Me Back Home.
Yeah.
I think I know the intro. Count me in there, Wichita. The warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom. I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest, and I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar play a friend in my request. Won't you sing me back home for the songs I used to hear, and make my old memories come alive, and take me away and turn back the years, and sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning, a choir from off the street came in to sing a few old gospel songs. And I heard him tell the singers, there's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you move along? Won't you sing me back home for the songs my mama sang, and make my old memories come alive? Take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. Won't you sing me back home before I die? shucks. Thanks a lot. All right, we're done with the Buck Owens and the Merle Haggard stuff. You know, several people tried to revitalize the Bakersfield thing, and nobody really seemed to make it happen until this next guy came along. And he was actually from Kentucky, but he went out there to, he was a big Buck Owens fan, and he cut music. He studied Buck Owens music, which again was heavy on the guitar. And all the Buck Owens music featured Don Rich just wailing on the Telecaster guitar. And Dwight Yoakam started making records. And what was it? What was the guy? His name was Pete. Pete what?
Pete.
What was Pete? Fred, what was
Anderson.
Pete Anderson. So he had a guy named Pete Anderson that was like his Don Rich. And if you listen to the Dwight Yoakam records, you'll see so much of Buck Owens' influence on it. So he was a guy that kind of came along and really revitalized the Bakersfield song. What was his name again? And so we're going to do a couple songs by him, I think, right? Are we?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nice and then you run along. Hey, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? You know I dated your big sister. Lord, I took her to the show. Well, we went for some candy and along came Jim Danny and she slipped right out the door. And little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nice and then you run along. Well, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? Hey, oh. I used to pull down on your pigtail. Hey girl, I pinch your turned up nose. Well, my baby, you've been gone and lately it's been showing from your head down to your toes. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nice and then you run along. Hey, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? Doug, you got it? I'll dig one too. And every time I see your sister, well, she's with somebody new. Well, she's mean and she's evil like a little Lord, but we will guess I'll try my luck with you. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nice and then you run along. Well, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? Yeah, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? Yeah, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? Old Elvis song done by Dwight Yoakam.
Was that an Elvis song? It was. There's Dwight right there. You know, I always like to look at Dwight because I don't feel quite so bad about my legs when I look at his. Because he's got stork legs, chicken legs, no doubt. All right. We love Dwight Yoakam, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Let's do another Dwight Yoakam song. You want to?
Yeah.
Here's and now I think this was another guy's song too. Wasn't this a Johnny Cash song?
I don't know.
You don't? What kind of?
I don't.
Kevin,
I do not know.
Kevin got into the wrong medication on the break, and
Yeah.
I said,
I
no.
took that Flonase.
He took my
I'll tell you
Flonase.
what.
But I said, no, it doesn't go there. But it was too late.
Oh, I thought it did. I thought that's what it. Okay. No wonder.
He didn't say it was bad. He just said it was kind of weird.
Well, my nose don't bother me anymore.
George Trillinger hadn't got anything over on us. All right.
Well, I'm back again for another night of trying to break free from the sadness that I can't lay to rest. And this old honky tonk sure does feel like home. And the music and the laughter seem to soothe my loneliness. Turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose from a memory that's driving me lonely, crazy and blue. It helps me forget her, so the louder the better. So Mr. Turn it up, turn it up, and turn me loose. If a tear should fall, if I should whisper her name to some stranger I'm holding while we're dancing to an old Buck Owens song. Oh, mercy, hold on. I know she won't mind. She won't even know. She'll be dancing on the memory, crying teardrops of her own. So turn it on, turn it up, turn it loose from a memory that's driving me lonely, crazy and blue. It helps me to forget her, so the louder the better. Hey, mister, turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose. So turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose from a memory that's driving me lonely, crazy and blue. It helps me to forget her, so time comes to better. Hey, mister, turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose. Hey, mister, turn it on, turn it up, and turn me loose. There's your Dwight right there.
Yeah.
I practiced that guitar part for hours. Oh, well. So most of you have probably been saying, geez, does Doug sing at all? And he does. And so there was another group of folks that got on the Bakersfield bandwagon for a little bit. And I actually spent about 6 months on tour with those guys, and they were incredible. There was a member of the Byrds was in that band, Chris Hillman, and a great guitar player by the name of John Jorgensen. And they had a little band called Desert Rose Band. And they were kind of out of California. They were signed out west out there, and they kind of jumped on the Bakersfield thing for a little bit. And I'm talking so I can remember the intro to this song. I think I have it, though.
That's it. gone, said goodbye. My dear love, all love that's dead. Ashes of love, cold as ice. Now you paid the debt and I paid the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burns out. I trusted you, our love would stay. Your every wish was my command. My heart tells me I must forget. I loved you then, I love you yet. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You paid the debt and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You paid the debt and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. Ashes of love, the flame burned out.
Yeah, Dougie!
And that right there, folks, is why we call him Dougie. Hey, there's a Desert Rose Band, though, right there. Well, John Jorgensen. I used to go out and listen to those guys play Hello Trouble. They did that song, too, an old Buck Owens song. And I'd go out at night and listen to the play. Huh?
One guy's missing.
Well, yeah, the steel player's missing. What was his name? J.D. Yeah, J.D. Manis is missing, but there was just the three guys.
Nobody cares about the steel guy.
Well, yeah, see, that's right. Here's a great Dwight Yoakam song, though, that is going to take some manipulating on stage to make happen. But I think we can make it happen if we give Dougie a second, and then I'll figure out something.
I don't even know why, but this is one of my favorite Dwight Yoakam songs.
This is one of his.
Because it's got fiddle in it.
Yeah, I like the fiddle.
Lots of fiddle. Can't have too much fiddle, can you? If you're going to play in Florida, you got to have a fiddle. We've got two in our band.
I sang Dixie as he died. People just walked on by as I cried. Bobblehead robbed him of all his rebel pride. So I sang Dixie as he died. They send me down yonder in the land of cotton. Old times there just ain't as rotten as they are on these damned old LA streets. Then he drew a dying breath and laid his head against my chest. Please, Lord, take my soul back home to Dixie. So I sang Dixie as he died. People just walked on by as I cried. Bottle had robbed him of all his rebel pride. So I sang Dixie as he died. Said, listen to me, son, while you still can. Run back home to that southern land. Don't you see what life here's done to me? Then he closed his old blue eyes and felt limp against my side. No more pain. Now he's safe back home to Dixie. So I sang Dixie as he died. People just walked on by as I cried. Bible had robbed him of all his rebel pride. So I sang Dixie as he died. I sang Dixie as he died.
Yeah!
There's me and Dwight Yoakam right there.
So Merle Haggard wrote this song in 1969. No, 1967. And today you probably couldn't get a song like this played on the radio because it was about politics and how the country was all divided, and that sounds a little familiar. But the one thing that, the point that's made in this song that I have to agree with, I know there's a bunch of vets out there. We'll get to that a little later. I happen to be a veteran, and I am of the firm belief that if you do not like it in this country, so here's a little song just about that, written in 1967. Well, I hear people talking bad about the way they have to live here in this country. Harping on the wars we fight, they're griping about the way things ought to be. Well, I don't mind them switching sides and standing up for things that they believe in. But if you're running down our country, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. They're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down a way of life our fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. Let this song that I'm singing be a warning. If you're running down our country, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. Well, I read about some squirrely guy who claims he just don't believe in fighting. I wonder just how long the rest of us can count on being free. They love our milk and honey, but they preach about some other way of living.
But if you're running down our country house, you're walking on the fighting side of me. You're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down a way of life our fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. Let this song that I'm singing be a warning. If you're running down our country, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. If you're running down our country house, you're walking on the fighting side of me. God bless Merle Haggard and God bless the USA. There's a great Merle Haggard song.
Today I started loving you again. Now I'm right back where I really always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartache mend. And today I started loving you again. What a fool I was to think I could get by with only these few million tears I've cried. I should have known worst was yet to come, and the crying time for me had just begun. 'Cause the day I started loving you again, now I'm right back where I really always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartache mend. And today I started loving you again. Oh, steel guitar, Dougie. Cause today I started loving you again. Now I'm right back where I really have always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartache mend. And today I started loving you again. Yesterday I started loving you again. Oh, Merle Haggard. I never sang the lead on that song till Miss Sadie, you know, little Sadie that, well, she's tall now, but 13-year-old Sadie comes to our jam nights on Thursday, or our showcase night, and she asked me to sing that song as a duet with her, so it was actually the first time I ever got to sing lead on that song with Sadie.
Well, you sounded a lot better with her.
Yeah. Looked a lot better with her, too.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
Yeah. Girl, you taught me how to hurt real bad, cry myself to sleep. You showed me how this town could shatter dreams. Another lesson about a naive fool came to battle on. Found out that the pie don't taste so sweet. You know, guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the lonely, lonely streets I call home. You know, the guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Oh! Ain't no glamour in this tinsel land, lost, wasted lives, scrapes and scars, that's all that's left of me. I wanna thank you, girl, for teaching me brand new ways to be cruel. I can find my mind, well, I guess I'll just leave. You know, the guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, the lonely, lonely streets I call home. You know, the guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. One more time, boys. You know, the guitars, Cadillacs, and hillbilly music, the lonely, lonely streets that I call home. Is that the guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. It's the only thing that keeps me hanging on. It's the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Oh, oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we does that bother you at all? Doesn't? Okay.
Why?
I know. I do that every night to somebody. Now she's down there going, oh, crap, I can't see nothing. Anyway, we're going to do one more song, I guess. And tonight has kind of been a little bit different for us because usually we do a lot of 90s country, Brooks and Dunn stuff. But tonight we went back and did a bunch of old songs. And pretty much every song had something to do with Bakersfield or recorded out there or something to do with that movement. Did y'all have a good time? Everybody enjoy?
Yeah.
Well, that's all you can ask for. So is there anybody that wants their money back? One guy, Fred Como. You didn't even pay to get in here, you jerk. Call me up. Hey, Bobby. And right away I know. Hi, Fred. How you doing? How many tickets you need? No, just kidding. Thanks for coming down. Fred come all the way down. He lives up in Alabama. You live outside of Birmingham, somewhere out there. And drove all the way down to see us. He's got a sister in Tampa. We appreciate him visiting. We appreciate y'all coming out tonight. We're gonna do. We're gonna do 2 more songs, but we'll do one more. I guess this is the big Bakersfield song that I have to look down there and read the words to. So, are you ready there, Hoss? No. All right. Wish us luck. Here we go. I came here looking for something I couldn't find anywhere else. I don't want to be nobody, just want a chance to be myself.
I've spent 1,000 miles of thumbing. Yeah, I wore blisters on my heels. It's time to find me something better here on the streets of Bakersfield.
Said you don't know me, but you don't like me. You say you care less how I feel. How many of you would sit and judge me? Ever walk the streets of Bakersfield? I spent some time in San Francisco. I spent a night there in the can. They threw this drunk man in my jail cell. Took $15 from that man.
I left him my watch and my old house key. Don't want folks thinking that I'd steal. And I thanked him as I was leaving, and I headed out to Bakersfield.
Say you don't know me, but you don't like me. You say you care less how I feel. How many of you would sit and judge me? Ever walk the streets of Bakersfield? Play it, Dougie. I spent some time in San Francisco. I spent a night there in the can. They threw this drunk into my jail cell. I took $15 from that man.
I left him my watch and my old house key. Don't want folks thinking that I'd steal. And I thanked him as I was leaving, and I headed out to Bakersfield.
Say you don't know me, but you don't like me. You say you care less how I feel. How many of you could sit and judge me? Ever walk the streets of Bakersfield? How many of you would sit and judge me? Ever walk the streets of Bakersfield?
Thank you, everybody. We hope you had a good time. We had a blast tonight playing. We played a lot of songs we never played before, but we sure had a good time. And thank you for sticking in there with us. If you don't mind, here comes Bill. We could turn the house lights up. And if you are a veteran tonight, would you please stand up for just a second so we could recognize you? We'd like to recognize all the veterans. Right there, folks, is the reason we live in the best country in the whole wide world. With the rest of y'all now, please stand as we pay tribute to our veterans tonight. Thank you very much.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills in Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Oh, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Sing now, and I'm proud. And I'll proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
On behalf of everyone here at the Orange Blossom Opry, God bless each and every one of you. This is Bill up here, 91 years old, a World War II vet. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for coming out. We'll see you again right here at the Orange Blossom Opry. Good night, everybody.